Today is Thursday, September 4th, 2025, and it is Yom Hamishi, which is the fifth day of the week. In Israel, Thursday is the fifth day, not the fourth day, because they count Sunday as the first day of the week. And so it's Yom Hamishi, fifth day of the week, the 11th day of Elul, and the Torah, 5785, the year 5785. The Torah portion is Ki Teitzei. And the Daf Yomi is Horiot, page 3. And the Islamic calendar is the 12th day of Rabi al-Awwal in the year 1447. And this calendar is the PL-89 Gematriatic Thought Calendar. It's the PL-89 Quantum Gematriatic Meta Calendar, or Meta Recursive Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar. And I haven't figured out exactly what branch of mathematics this deals with. It's something to do with number theory, but it's also, there's a lot of counting involved, and it has a little bit of arithmetic, perhaps a little bit of algebra, maybe some metaphysical aspects, a bit of numerology, but it's basically a theory of everything that is put into a calendar. And it's actually a few calendars in one. It's a lunar and solar calendar. It takes the Julian calendar in consideration, which is 13 days behind our Gregorian calendar, and the Hebrew calendar, and a Daf Yomi calendar. And I now included the Islamic calendar. And basically, it seeks to find patterns in time and to put together or gain information from other subjects because of it, or through it. And an example of that is, it's kind of like a quantum, it's one of the names is quantum. It's a quantum process of consciousness, of seeing something. Like, let's say today, on the calendar, and this happens every day, almost every single day. There are things that happen that are hard to explain, that have to do with the day that we're on, and something happening in the day without me intending it to be that way, and it matches the number. So okay, today this is the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. So on the Hebrew calendar, today is the 11th day of Elul, and so it would be in box 28. Oh yeah, right. The numbers for today are 9 and 28. 28 is Elul. 11, and the coordinates are A6 and H1. These 28. A6 and H1. So A6 is actually today. 28. These are 80 boxes, and there's two of it. It's based on 240s, and which is one of the reasons it's based on the word marbe in Isaiah 9:6, the marbe misra. There's two mems there, and one mem is a closed mem even at the beginning, the marbe misra, and so that's why it's 240s here. That's one of the reasons why it's based on 240s. But I'm walking on King George, getting ready to take the bus, and then someone shows up, and he's wearing a Lakers jersey. At least I think it's a Lakers. It might have said Los Angeles. But I think it was Lakers. Sometimes you see something and it's associated. Like if it said Los Angeles, and it was a jersey, then I might automatically think it was Lakers. But I think it was Lakers. If it was a jersey, it probably would be Lakers. There's nothing. Yeah, it was Lakers, and so I think. So either way, so today is September 4th, and if you look up on Wikipedia or whatever, just look up online. There's two dates that LA started. Los Angeles was like officially got initiated, got either incorporated or it was the start of LA. One date is August 29th, and one day is September 4th. There's a dispute between the two. If you look them up, you'll see in different places. It says, starting in LA, September 4th. Some says August 29th, which I think is Michael Jackson's birthday, incidentally. But on the calendar, September 4th comes out in box number 9. And the rule of 40 states that any box is grouped in terms of 40. Every box was 9, 49, 89, 129, 2,000,009. It doesn't matter. If you add 40, they're in the same family. So today, I'm walking and I see someone with the Lakers. So obviously I think about LA. But what is today? Today is 9/4. And 9/4 is 49 backwards. And 9 plus 40 is 49. Now, you might think that that's a stretch and that's kind of contrived. But I don't think you can do this with every number. And one of the rules are that permutations are allowed. So 94 and 49 can be seen as, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier. But still, there's many numbers it could be. You couldn't do that with 17. You couldn't do that with 39. You couldn't do that with 7 or 13. You couldn't do it with those numbers. But today, it's 49, which is 94, 9/4, and it happens to be the birthday of Los Angeles, according to one opinion. And I see a guy with a Lakers jersey. So that's interesting. So I'm trying to tap into these things that happen and trying to harness the. I don't know what it is yet, but I've just become aware of the 0 point energy, and this might be a harnessing of 0 point energy through concentrating thought in an order of numbers that can interpret reality. That's probably the best way of describing this. So what's interesting also is that if you look at this format, I don't know if you've studied, I don't know how well known this is, but there's something called the 72 Names of God. The 72 Names of God is, there's 72 3-letter names that are derived from 3 verses in the book of Exodus, the 14th chapter, verses 19 through 21. And each verse has exactly 72 letters, which I think is a really interesting phenomenon in its own right, and not by chance at all. But because it has, each verse has exactly 72 letters, it can be lined up. If you take the verses and you just line them up, each one letter over the other in each verse, and you read them as an acrostic, and then you get words. Now, one thing I should mention is that those who interpret these verses and interpret the way to formulate these names said that the middle verse needs to be written in reverse. And reverse, generally in esoteric Jewish thought, is or the deeper inner dimension, also known as Kabbalah, is that when something is written in reverse, it represents the attribute of judgment or din, severity, strictness, harshness, and so there's another way of writing the 72-letter name that the middle verse is also written just forward like the other two, and that's all mercy and kindness and compassion, etc. And so if you look at this format and if you study that name, you'll see that's exactly like this. It's a row of 8 different things, and it's 8 times 9 makes 72. And when I made this calendar 13 years ago, I had no idea about the 72-letter name. But when I discovered the 72-letter name, I heard about it, but I didn't know how it was actually written. It's written just in this order. Just this calendar can be used for the 72-letter name. And except it's 72-letter name because it's in Hebrew, you read it from right to left. And here you read it from left to right, like Numbers or English. But what's interesting in the 72-letter name is that I'm going to come back around to 49. I'm coming back to it, which is 94, which is today. The first name of the 72-letter name is Yud Hey. I'm sorry. The first name of the 72-letter name is Vav Hey Vav. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so I just say the letters. The letter Vav, the letter Hey, and the letter Vav. And so, if you start here and you go Vav Hey Vav, then it's Yud Lamed Yud, and then Samech Yud Tet, and so forth. You keep going 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 8, and then 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and when you get to number 49, which in the PL-89 calendar, 9 is the same thing as 49 because of the rule of 40. When you get to the 49th box, you're going to be at the same exact name, and they don't repeat. They do repeat a few times, but it's going to be Vav Hey Vav on the top, and when you get to number 49, and in the count of the 72-letter name that I've been counting, starting from the first day of Rosh Hashanah, every 72 days, you do one name per day, and you'll have 5 times of that in a year, because 5 times 72 is 360, I think. It's around there. So you have it in a Hebrew year. 360 is like right in the middle between the solar, which is 365, and a lunar, which is 354 or 355. This year it's 355 because it's a full year. But the point is that for the 49th day, you get to the same name. It repeats. It's Vav Hey Vav, and then, but 49 is also today, actually, meaning the 4th of September, besides for it being 9-4 and 4-9 backwards and forwards, besides for that, the fact that we got to the 4th day of any month on this calendar, you'll be at box 9. And box 9, by the rule of 40, equals 49, equals 89, equals 129, equals 169, 209, 409, 809, etc. So I think that's really interesting that they matched up today. But I find these things every day. I would really be curious to find out if there's a mathematician out there who can define what type of mathematics this is. And I don't think it's just, some might say it's numerology, but I don't think it's numerology, because you're dealing with a set of numbers that are predictable, and you're counting. You're not just saying, I feel that this number means this, and you're not saying this number represents this. It's not about representing. This is about counting and matching it up with historical data and scientific data and things that are recorded and are objective. It's not like today is 9, so it's like it means that you're feeling creative today. That's to me that's numerology. Today 9 represents the ability to speak your truth. So you should speak your truth today. That could be any day. It could be any number. You could give a meaning to any number. And no, this is saying that Lakers equals 109 in Gematria if you count the letters. I don't. That's to me that's a higher level than Lakers equals 109. Los Angeles is 109. Lakers is 66. You add LA with Lakers and you get this. This equals this street sign equals that time on the clock, and I was on this box, and that box matches the calendar. See, that's not numerology. It can't be numerology. Anyway, I think that's enough for today.